Hey, how's it going?
Good. Yourself?
Good. What do we got here?
It's an exempt certificate from the fire department from the city of New York.
This is an exemption certificate saying he's a fireman, you can't call him to jury duty, or you can't draft him in the Army.
Correct.
I mean, I wish they had these things for pawnbrokers where you didn't have to do jury duty.
Yeah. I'm here at the pawn shop today to sell my FDNY exemption certificate. I got this certificate from an antique dealer. I purchased it because it was from 1836 and I'd never seen one before. I'm hoping to get $15,000 for the certificate today.
It's super cool. It's a great piece of history. They didn't have professional firefighters till 1865, but before that, firefighters were all volunteers. A volunteer guy was basically at his job, everything. There was an alarm that went off. He ran to the fire department as soon as he could. They loaded up their equipment, went to the fire, you know. But then 1865, we get professionals who can actually stay at the fire department and are much better trained.
Correct.
All right, we have Fire Department, City of New York. It is hereby certified that Henry Grand is exempted from serving as a juror in any of the courts of this state and from all militia duty. Definitely cannot tell who the chief engineer is, and something Morton is the clerk. Now, do we know if any of these people ended up being mayor or?
No, none of them became mayor or governor, no.
All right. So how much you want for this thing?
15,000?
For $15,000, I can get you a full fire suit, a helmet, an axe, and a bunch of other stuff all combined. Where did you come up with that figure?
From what I understand, documents from this period aren't readily available.
Documents from this period are widely available.
Really?
Literally, documents like this go for like 40, 50 bucks.
Really? Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna pass.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Unfortunately, no deal was made today, but I'm just going to take this certificate back and I'm going to put it in a frame and enjoy it.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
So what in the world did you bring me this time?
This is an old, what they call Firefighter Station. What they do is they mount these on top of their fire trucks back in the day. When I bought it, I was thinking, well, I'll just hook it up out in front of my house. I live by a mountain and throw some wildflower seeds on the side of the mountain and hose them down.
Seems like a big ordeal, man. You don't got a hose you could use?
Well, I picked it up at an auction a couple of years ago. I'm hoping to get at least $700. I think it's probably 90 years old. It's older than me, I'm sure of that.
What you have here is real interesting. Since buildings started catching on fire, they've been trying to come up with ways to put them out faster. As soon as the fire truck came around, this was real soon to follow. And this was a lot better than when a bunch of guys would line up with buckets and throw it on fire.
Now, this on here is cast iron, this is bronze, and then brass.
Makes sense. Those are the three metals you would have used to keep something from rusting. That's why plumbers use them.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, what are you looking to get out of it?
I was hoping to get 700.
700 bucks?
Yeah. I go to a lot of auctions, and one thing I find is when anything from the fire department comes up, it's very desirable.
You go 400?
No, I won't take 4. I could go down to 650.
This stuff never lasts around the store. I know I could get some money out of it pretty quick. I'll go 600 bucks.
I'm gonna miss it. You got a deal.
All right, deal.
$600 is a fair price. So I figured, well, I got a lot of stuff and I don't have a lot of cash.
Hey, how can I help you?
Well, I have some Red Comet fire extinguishers here.
Okay, they were called fire grenades.
Sure would like to bomb one of these across the room.
Just put it down.
Damn it. I decided to come down to the pawn shop today to sell my Red Comet fire extinguishers. We want to sell them today because they've just been sitting in a drawer for 5 years and time to get rid of them. So I'm asking $100 each. I'm hoping to get at least 50.
So where did you get these?
My friend had one in his home. I thought it was really interesting, so I went out and I found these.
Do you know much about them?
They're from the Red Comet Fire Extinguisher Company. Their heyday was 1920s to beginning of World War II.
They were called fire grenades, basically glass and water. And they were part of fire codes in cities, basically made to throw onto a fire.
Like water balloons.
These could sit on the wall for years and years and years and be fine because they're just glass and water. Fire extinguishers date all the way back to ancient Egypt, where they used hand pumps to shoot water onto flames. Even though these were made thousands of years later, they basically do the same thing. You would store it above a trash can, you know, the most likely spots for fires. This little piece right here would pop loose at right around 160 or 180 degrees, somewhere in there, and the spring-loaded would break. Would shoot up, break
the
this,
glass.
and it would shoot right into the trash can or whatever it was. And it had the dual purpose. If there was a fire somewhere else, you just pull it off the wall and throw it at them. But they didn't hang them from the ceiling because there's not much water here. They really wouldn't work as a sprinkler system. Originally, these fire grenades were something you would probably never even notice unless your building was on fire. But they've become popular as decorative collectible pieces. Now, you're supposed to look at them. So what do you want to do with them?
Well, I'd like to sell them.
How much you want for them?
$100 each.
That's around what I can sell them for. I'll give you 50.
75.
When I buy these things, I take the risk that they're going to sit around here and get broken. How about 60 bucks a piece?
Sure. 60 is good.
All right, you want to write them up, chum? And be careful with them.
We settled for 60. That's a pretty fair and equitable price. Definitely going to pay for dinner tonight.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Doing all right. What do we got?
It's a 19th century fireman's megaphone.
All right. I could probably use one of these to yell at my dad from across the store.
Oh, no problem. I'm here today to try to sell my 19th century fireman's megaphone. I'm a picker, and it's one of my first fireman's collectibles. I've done a little bit of research, and I'm looking to get $750. If I can make the sale today, I'll probably go pay off my bar tab. It's a pretty big bar tab.
This is interesting. You know, it's a megaphone. You know, they've been around since ancient Rome. It's a big cone. You scream into it, and it projects your voice really loud. Back in the late 1800s, I mean, there wasn't really electricity. They didn't have a way to really broadcast sound all that well. Imagine being a firefighter, you're screaming for people to get out of a building. This is what you used. So where'd you get it? Tell me about it.
Well, I got it on a estate sale, and the person was the head chief of the Appalachian Fire Department.
Do you happen to know who this Edward Boutel is?
I do not. I never researched it.
Do you have any more history on it?
No, that's all I have, and it's all I was told.
All right, do you mind if I take a look at it?
Go for it.
So, it definitely looks like it's from the 1800s. It definitely looks like it's from that period. So it says C3, maybe Company 3, something like that. And other than that, I mean, you just got a horn, you know?
Yeah, that's about it.
There's not really much to say here. It was probably presented to Edward Boutel as an award of some kind, maybe a retirement, maybe because he did something cool. Maybe he won a potato sack race. Who knows? So give me an idea of what you're looking to do with it.
I'm looking to sell it today.
Hey, what are you looking to get out of it?
I'm thinking about $750.
Okay, I mean, it's really old, but it's not really identifiable. Like, if you had, like, FDNY or something like that on it, it would be worth a lot of money. But the fact that it's just a plaque with a megaphone on it, it doesn't really get me all tingly. I can offer you $100.
Can you come up a little? $200.
I'll go 150.
175.
I'll go 150.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, meet me over there. We'll do some paperwork.
Absolutely.
Okay?
So we settled on $150, which was not as much as I was asking for, but it will help me pay off my bar tab.
What do we have here?
Got an old fire logbook here from FDNY.
New York City Fire Department?
New York City Fire Department, yeah. Engine 48, which is out in the Bronx, and it's from 1913.
Okay, 1913, all right. Definitely a different world. Those early volunteer fire departments, some of them would actually show up and demand money before they put out the fire.
I came to the pawn shop today to try to sell my vintage 1913 FDNY fire logbook. I work as a fireman, and when I graduated the academy, it was given to me as a gift. My collection's pretty full right now, and I kind of need to thin it out a little bit. These fire logs are actually pretty standard in the fire service. It's just pretty much a record of the whole entire day's events, from fires to entries in here talking about they got 5 bushels of hay for the horses.
Yeah, back then it wasn't a fire truck going there. It was a horse-drawn steam pumper, like a carriage with a big steam engine on the back of it that pumped water that they brought with them. The New York Fire Department's roots go all the way back to the 1600s, when it was still New Amsterdam. The first firefighters were called prowlers because they would roam around the city looking for fires to fight. Fires have been a scary thing ever since cities were invented. A lot of the firefighting was about containing the fire and not as much as putting it out, because they couldn't take as much water with them. Can you imagine just fighting a fire nowadays with just a few hundred gallons of water?
Yeah. In the logbook, they talk about hook and ladder 37. What they were pretty much the trucks. No water on them, but they carried a lot of ladders and a lot of hooks. They used to have big steel rings on these houses, and they could actually hook up to that one steel ring, hook them to a horse-drawn carriage, and then actually collapse the house down.
I mean, if you can tear the building down into the street instead of it falling onto the other buildings, less chance of the fire spreading. And that was the big fear, that the whole city would go up in flames. These logbooks are an amazing window into the life of a firefighter 100 years ago. But the people who collect firefighting memorabilia want something they can hang on a wall. So this is a much tougher sell. What do you want to do with it?
I was hoping to sell it.
Okay. From a historical standpoint, it's neat, it's interesting. As from a monetary value, it's not going to bring the money as something that's visual. I mean, wouldn't you rather have a 1913 fire extinguisher and you can display it on a shelf somewhere, as opposed to, what's that? What's a book?
Yeah, but this is from New York, though.
FDNY is pretty cool and pretty neat. I'll give you that. But how many fire stations are there in New York?
Close to 200.
Okay, and each one of these have at least 1,000 of these logs. It's a question of supply and demand. I could be wrong, but it's not for me. Good luck with it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
On a historic level, I think this logbook is pretty damn cool. But unfortunately, I don't think it's worth that much. And in general, if my offer is going to be a lot less than what the customer's expecting, I'd just rather pass than insult them. What in the world is this?
It's a 1959 Disneyland fire extinguisher.
Disneyland fire extinguisher?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know the Disneyland Fire Department, Walt Disney lived upstairs?
Really?
You ever see the fire pole?
Yeah.
They actually had to cap that off because people were climbing up into his apartment.
Nice.
Okay.
Came down to the shop today to sell my 1959 Disneyland fire extinguisher. I did some research on the extinguisher, found a couple that sold on the internet for a few $100s. I'm asking for $2,500 for the fire extinguisher. I don't need it. Get some money, take my kids to Disneyland, let them have some fun from Walt Disney, on Walt Disney. Won't come out of my pocket.
This is cool.
Did some research on it. It looks like they made it for a collection edition of Disneyland people that, collect Disneyland stuff.
Okay.
There is a date on 1955. It was his speech that he said on opening day. It's about as lot of research I could really do on it.
All right. Disney always did those things that everyone said that wouldn't work.
Right.
What he did was he created a theme park that was really clean and cool and family friendly.
Right.
Because every other theme park really wasn't theme parks. It was like places like Coney Island that were a little seedy.
Right,
and little,
small
yeah.
place.
He opened up Disneyland and he made a fortune.
Yeah.
Disney is a company that is absolutely amazing when it comes to making money. They license their characters all over the world. Toys, games, apparel, and the list goes on and on. Maybe I ought to rethink my business plan. I assume you want to sell it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and how much are you looking to get out of it?
$2,500.
All right,
We're a hardcore Disneyland collector. We'll love it.
well, I hate to tell you, it's fake. Disney never had any of these made that look like this, never licensed them or anything else.
Okay.
You see this Mickey Mouse right here?
Right.
That's Mickey sort of the way he was in the 1930s.
Okay.
Okay? And then you have a 1959 monorail right there.
Right.
Anything Disney, Mickey always had to be perfect. Okay? If this was made in 1959 or the 1960s, he would have looked like 1959 or 1960s Mickey.
Oh, okay. So they're just made by somebody that wanted to make some money.
Yep, it's like a gazillion other fakes I've seen over the years.
That sucks, man.
I'm sorry, man. Thanks for bringing it in, though.
Thanks a lot,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Appreciate it, brother. Have a good day, man. Oh, dang. Came here today, found out it was fake. I'm so sad.